Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى لا سيما المصطفى صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Dear beloved viewers everywhere, welcome to a new edition of your program Ask Huda. Our phone numbers beginning with the area code 002-0100-246-4583. Alternatively 002 area code 011-2500-8679, and the email addresses are ask@huda.tv or gardens@huda.tv. We resumed answering the pending questions via pre-recorded episodes, which will be posted inshallah beginning today or tomorrow maximum inshallah on the Facebook page. The questions which we received on the Facebook page, we resumed answering them today inshallah, and you should see the answer to your questions in the same order they were received. Barakallahu feekum. Two things that we will do inshallah while waiting for your phone calls: answer some of the email questions and also resume talking about the magnificent ayat of Surah Al-Qasas, as we said, which explain in detail all what is going on and also the outcome or the end result. The first question is from brother Khalid Ahmed. He says, I'm 45 years old, but I only started fasting and praying when I was 25. Do I have to make up all of those missed fasts and prayers? Okay. As far as when does it become obligatory on a Muslim to fast, to pray and perform Hajj, the three mandates are linked to reach the age of puberty. As far as zakah, it is not relating to the age of puberty, by the meaning if an orphan inherited some wealth from his or her parents and they are still minors and the wealth is zakatable, we still pay zakah on the wealth even though they have not reached the age of puberty. But as far as Al-Hajj, As-Sawm and As-Salah, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam informed us that once the boy or the girl reach the age of puberty, they must perform these ibadat and on regular basis. And that's why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ordered the parents and the guardians to start instructing their children to offer the prayers and accordingly to start practicing fasting earlier in order to find it easy and affordable to resume fasting regularly and praying regularly once he or she reaches the age of puberty. As we will discuss the hadith inshallah after this phone call. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Ammar from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I am Ammar from KSA. How are you, Sheikh?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking and thank you for calling Sister Ammar. Go ahead.
Thank you, Sheikh. I've been watching a couple of your programs on internet and Facebook. I need to ask some of the questions for the upcoming Hajj and Umrah.
Yeah.
I have my parents, they are intending to travel from Toronto, Canada to Jeddah to perform Umrah. They are staying only for 10 days in Jeddah. Now my question is, do they need to have to put the ihram from Toronto airport? Because my father is aged about 70 years, he intends to take 1 day rest in Jeddah, then put the ihram from Jeddah and then carry on for the Umrah.
Yeah.
Now my question is, he has to put ihram from Toronto airport, or can he put, after taking 1 day's rest in Jeddah, can he put ihram from Jeddah? That is one question. he wants to do Umrah and then get back to his country. He's not coming for the Hajj. My second question is, I know how this constructed. Now, how to go, what is the sunnah style to get into the house, apart from throwing a party for the relatives or the families, or is there some sunnah thing which we need to perform, or shall we read or recite Surah Baqarah or Surah Imran repeatedly in the home? How to go about start living in a new house so that we will make dua or read Quran or what? Like I just need to know.
Yeah.
But these are my two questions, Sheikh. Thank you very much.
Ammar, can you hear me, Sister Ammar? Ammar.
All the Muslims in trouble.
Can you hear me? Okay, I assume not. Barakallah fiki. As far as your first question, your father was coming from Toronto, Canada to perform Umrah. Meanwhile, he will stop by in Jeddah for a few hours or a day, stay with you, then resume his journey to perform Umrah. I was about to ask you which airline that he's flying with, because I can advise him with something to make it easy for him. This advice would apply to every passenger who's flying from a long distance. If you're taking a flight which would have to take a transit in any of the Middle Eastern countries, so don't worry about putting the ihram on from Toronto, Washington DC, Houston Airport, or JFK in New York. Basically, because when you reach to any of these countries, you can change into the ihram outfit, which is the izar and the rida, in the transit airport. Then when you board the plane, normally the captain announces that if you're planning to perform Umrah or whenever it's Hajj season, we are in line with the miqat. Even if you decided to assume the intention of ihram before reaching the miqat, it is permissible. But I'm not really sure if there is a direct flight from Toronto to Jeddah, but if there is, then in this case, since he's coming to perform Umrah, and that is in his intention, as the sole purpose, and meanwhile he will visit you, then he should not cross the miqat without assuming the intention of ihram. So the options will be limited to either, if he wants, he can change into the ihram outfit in Toronto, and that means he will stay in the ihram outfit, which does not necessarily mean that he's in a state of ihram, for approximately 11 hours. Then before an hour or so before entering into Jeddah airport, he will declare the intention of the actual ihram, where he would withhold from doing any of the sections of ihram. The second option is if he's traveling business class, for instance, or first class, it will be a lot easier where he can find a room to change into the ihram in the airplane, in the aircraft. Otherwise, he should not cross the miqat, the appointed area of entering into ihram, without commencing into the act of ihram by saying labbaika umratan. Barakallah feek. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Madiha from the KSA.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Hello, how's your family and you?
We're fine, alhamdulillah, shukla, we're safe and sound by the blessings of your dua and invocation. Barakallah feekum wa jazakum Allahu khayran.
Alhamdulillah. Sheikh Salah, I actually, one of my friends tagged me in an article which was written by someone here. I read it and I felt very disturbed, although there might be parts that I would agree with. What the Sheikh is saying that the ones who were killed in Egypt, they should not be called martyrs. And the way he addressed them, I felt was very rude. He said that, oh, you dead people braying like donkeys. And then he also addressed them as idiots, and he asked them to go home, and he asked them to just wait for another election. So okay, fine, if he's saying it's not about, protesting is not right, it's not Islamic, but the language he used itself was very disturbing. I would want you to comment on this, because it's spreading on Facebook, and my friends are being tagged in it, and others can view it also.
Okay, barakallah fiki. Thank you, Sister Madiha. Same people who claim so, they were pro-protesting against the officially, legitimately elected president. And they supported that. And they supported the military coup. And they said it is the wish of the people they protested. So they were pro-protesting whenever it was fulfilling their desire. But whenever the military in rule now, they say it is not permissible to protest. Such people have been organized by the intelligence and educated to propagate such things, whether they are secular or religious parties or whatever. I know for sure that An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Sayyid al-Shuhada'i Hamza. The master of all the martyrs is Hamza ibn Abd al-Muttalib, may Allah be pleased with him. And a man who stood in the face of an oppressing ruler, and he told him that you are an oppressor, so he was killed. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, he is also not just an ordinary martyr, but he is one of the masters of the martyrs. When the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was asked about a man who even fights on a battlefield for the sake of fame, to be known, to be courageous, to defend whatever, he said, only the one who gives his life for the sake of Allah is a martyr. So the person who called those who died when and where they were protesting peacefully, asking for their basic rights, when he calls them idiots, I think he is more than anybody else eligible to be called the title. And as far as those who gave their lives for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, alhamdulillah, this judgment is by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is not by any of these people. And alhamdulillah, there will be a day of judgment. And alhamdulillah, any of us, whether the oppressors or the oppressed, will meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala soon. It could be sooner than any of us can imagine. Then when we face the ultimate justice, only then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِذْ تَبَرَّأَ الَّذِينَ اتُّبِعُوا مِنَ الَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوا وَرَأَوُا الْعَذَابَ وَتَقَطَّعَتْ بِهِمُ الْأَسْبَابِ. That those who have been followed will disown and disassociate themselves from their followers, whether they were rulers, intelligence, writers, fake scholars. Why am I saying fake scholars? Because throughout the history, not only in Islam, you will find in Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, scholars of the rulers who are ready to shape the fatwa which suits the rulers. There are some of these scholars who, in the last days of the former regime, said peacefully protesting against the president is absolutely legitimate. And it is your Islamic right. Okay. So when they did the military coup, the same guys, the same turbans, now are saying it is not permissible to protest even peacefully because you be considered amongst al-Khawarij. Such people, alhamdulillah, shukla, they speak about themselves. They reveal their identity. Do you guys realize that we are in the 21st century? You guys realize that there's something called YouTube and Facebook and social networks, and whatever I say or do, it is recorded, especially in public. So when I put the earlier recording versus the current one, right away people would say, you're a munafiq, you're a hypocrite, you're a liar, you drop your credibility, you were saying something just 45 days ago entirely different than what you're saying now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Latifa from Nigeria. Latifa, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sheikh, I have two questions to ask. First of all, Sheikh, can you hear me? Sheikh?
Yeah, I hear you, Sister Latifa.
Me,
yes, I hear you. Please continue. Present your question, please.
Okay. Sheikh, my husband works in a particular organization. And in this organization, they have this cooperative society that deals with just the staff of that organization. And this organization, they have management committees that usually they usually go for an election before you be able to be part of that committee. So I want to know if, because the corporation is about the staff contributing money, then if they are in need, they will take loans from that cooperative society if they are in need. And my husband wants to contest in that election. I want to know if it is Islamically okay for him to contest, because this cooperative society deals with riba interest. So I really want to know whether it's good for him, it's okay for him to contest. They will contest and they will be elected as the management of that cooperative society. They are the ones that will manage the cooperative society. So I want to know if it is okay for him to contest there. Then secondly, my second is not a question per se though. I just want to, I've been married for a year now and I've not yet conceived. So I would like you to put me in prayers so that God will answer my prayers, inshallah.
Inshallah. Barakallah fi. Thank you, Sister Latifa. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abu Abdul Karim from the case, eh?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh, for your spreading your knowledge and sharing with us our questions, actually. I have one small question. It's regarding the praying that we used to offer when we are in travel.
No.
So the qasr of the prayer. So as per what I know, that there are some people say the praying is like if I am traveling for 3 days or 4 days, then I have to do qasr. Is there any fixed date or time frame where whenever I travel I should be bound to these kind of dates, or is it open? Because in some of the seerah, in history, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he when he went to Mecca in Fatih time, and he stayed over there more than 19 days, and I remember he do qasr all these 19 days.
No.
So is it any specific date is there, or it's open?
طيب. Thank you, brother Abu Abdul Karim. Barakallah fiqh. I still like to comment on Sister Madiha's remark and the writer who was writing whatever, that those who give their lives are idiots and they were not martyrs and so on. Just yesterday I attended a very interesting discussion with some of the members of the Islamic Council here in Egypt. They were basically discussing, and it was a public discussion, a fatwa which is spread like fire and lugs on the internet, on the different social networks, of the former Grand Mufti, where he said that these protesters should get killed. And he was addressing the army and the police that have no mercy on them, as a matter of fact that the Prophet ﷺ is ordering you to kill them. He said, yeah, the blood is sacred, the Muslim blood is sacred, but the Prophet ﷺ said it is your right to kill them. Then they were reviewing some of his former fatwas. During the tyrant regime, the tyrant oppressing regime, which there was a revolution in order to get rid of it. Basically, it's back in power, fully back in power, where he said it is not permissible to protest at all. Then when people manage to elect their government and their president, somebody who has memorized the Quran, somebody who is merciful, somebody who leads the prayer in the masjid, somebody who gave them a huge deal of freedom of practice. And he started, brothers and sisters, for the very first time in my entire life to hear the adhan at Cairo airport. It was after this president was in office. Only the first time to see people praying at the airport, even the employees, the captains, the pilots, the officers, everybody was in harmony. Everybody interrupted everything and listened to the adhan being played in the central speakers. I said, what is this? It was amazing. This is just a glimpse of the changes that took place. So during this time, the same person who before said it is not permissible to protest against the governor, against the president, and if you do so, you will be considered out of the boundaries of Islam. All of a sudden, he changed 180 and he said, yes, it is your right to protest against the president, and no one should stop you from protesting. Okay. Then, right after the military coup, he's been recorded in their headquarters saying, protesting against you is not permissible, and whoever protests against the military regime should be killed. Okay. No further comments. I guess you know what I'm talking about. Then I look into the record of such people, where one point he said the beard is not a fard, it's a sunnah. Then all of a sudden it's a bid'ah. Growing a beard has become an innovation. Wearing a niqab, it is a wajib, because he was narrating what is in the books. Then he said it's mere sunnah. Then the same person, the same guy in Mufti said it's a haram, an innovation. So what the mothers of the believers, Aisha and Safiya and Zainab and the lady companions were doing, actually they were making an innovation, and the Prophet ﷺ did not forbid them because they were wearing a niqab. And what the Prophet ﷺ was doing by growing a beard was a disliked act. What kind of fatwa is this? What kind of knowledge is this? The knowledge which is used to serve the ruling regime. Looking for what? Looking for power, looking for dunya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, فَإِنَّهَا لَا تَعْمَى الْأَبْصَارِ وَلَكِنْ تَعْمَى الْقُلُوبُ الَّتِي فِي الصُّدُورِ. It is not the eyesight which is blind, rather it is the hearts which are being blind. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us what's best. That's why when somebody says, I heard somebody is saying so and so, let me tell you this. Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. I'll share with you this interesting story في صحيح البخاري after this call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Iqbal from Sweden. Iqbal?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Iqbal. Go ahead. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I'm Iqbal from Sweden.
Yeah?
I have just a simple question that about Bidda. That daily I pray 2 rakat nawafil for azab qabr, that when I will die, so it will helpful for me. And 2 rakat nafil for my parents, that may Allah give them long life and save them from every trouble. So I just want to ask that, is it a bid'ah or can I allow it in my life? So just need answer of these 2 questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Iqbal. Okay, thank you, brother Iqbal. Barakallah fiqh. Naam. Al-Imam al-Bukhari narrated that Abdullah ibn Umar ibn al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, ordered a group of the people of Yemen to be executed, to be killed, not as a qasas, equality in punishment, rather haddan, for killing a young boy. So the fuqaha and the scholars reviewed Umar ibn Khattab, and they said it was only one person who killed the boy, who murdered the boy. So why do you kill 7 people? He said, I swear to Allah, if all the Yemeni people have cooperated and plotted against this one child to kill him, I would have killed them all for him. It isn't only the person who shot the bullet, but also the person who gave him an order, the person who gave him a command. And the so-called turban, he said, it is permissible to kill them, they are rebellious. And the writer who charged people against their fellow citizens and their fellow Muslims, to the point that they shoot at a masajid while people are praying. I told you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, the blindness is not the blindness of the eyes, it is the blindness of the hearts. If you go to my webpage or my Facebook page, you see how some of the masajid have been burned to the ground and people were shot at while they're praying. Are you blind? Are you blind? Somebody in the masjid and praying, you say, he's not a shaheed because he was praying with a different intention. Now you know the intentions too. Subhanallah. No wonder the Prophet ﷺ said, the first people to be admitted and thrown into the fire of hell are three. One of them is a scholar. Alim. A scholar. Have memorized the entire Quran and studied fiqh, studied tafsir. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring him to account and say, I bestowed upon you the knowledge of the Quran and the Sunnah and the fiqh. What did you do with it? I said, I taught people for your sake. I said, you lied. You're a liar. You only did so in order to be called alim, a scholar, and it was saved. You were seeking a position. You were seeking a worldly benefit. You got it. Drag him to the fire of hell. And he will be dragged on his face, then thrown in the fire of hell by the angels. It is very dangerous. We have to comprehend the reality of this life. It's a big test. And I want to tell you one thing. Those who fail simple tests like these tests which we're going through right now and can see the truth from the falsehood, I would like to ask you one question. How are you going to go about during the trial of the false Messiah if you happen to live to be tested by Al-Masih al-Dajjal? Al-Masih al-Dajjal, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said Allah will enable him to have what would look like heaven and what would look like fire. He will give him the power of resurrecting the dead and killing the living, ordering the rain to drop and the fruits and vegetations to grow. So why? So that he will say to people, Ana Rabbukum, I'm your Lord. A lot of people will be deceived. But Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, there was not a single prophet before me, but warned his people against the trial of the false Messiah. It is the greatest trial indeed. And I am to warning you against this trial. Indeed, your Lord is not blind, and the false Messiah is one eye blind, and it will be written on his forehead between his two eyes, kafir or kafara. He's a disbeliever. Guess what? All the believers will be able to read it, even the illiterate ones. Even those who do not know how to spell the letters will be able to read it. So how come some people will be deceived? Because they were not trained to go through tests and trials. They failed the simplest test. They failed the simplest trial. We see them right and left. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Layla from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My question is about aqiqah.
Naam.
What is the virtue of aqiqah, and is it permissible for us to keep practicing this?
To do what?
Is it acceptable for us Muslims to not practice aqiqah when a newborn baby?
Okay. Barakallah feek. Thank you, Sister Layla from the KSA. Brother Muhammad from the KSA is next. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Muhammad. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much. Same to you. Barakallah feek. I can't hear you, Brother Muhammad. Try to call from a better phone line, please. Okay. I'm sorry to miss your call. Please try again. We'll take a short break, and soon after that, inshallah, we'll get to answer Abu Abdul Karim's question. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
On the road to Medina, our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions faced lots of troubles and difficulties and enmities and obstacles in the way to Medina before the hijrah to Medina from Mecca. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has assisted his beloved Prophet and supported him in order to complete his mission and to immigrate to Medina. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted us this great prophet and his companions. Now the question, why the immigration to Medina, the hijrah of Rasulullah and his companions, was a turning point in the history of hijrah, in the history of Islam. My dear brothers and sisters, what are the sacrifices that the Prophet ﷺ has faced with his companions? Some of these difficulties, inshallah, we will learn together, and we will focus in some lessons. What are the lessons that we take from these incidents, inshallah, in our program, Road to Medina? My dear brothers, stay tuned with us, inshallah, in this great event of hijrah. We will, inshallah, focus on some of the lessons in this program, Road to Medina. May Allah make it easy for us and accept our good deeds and gather us with our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in Jannah. Ameen.
Salah is a beautiful recipe for happiness in this life and the next. But if you don't have the right ingredients for it, the meal won't be so delicious.
You look for that taste, but you can't find the same taste. You can't find that same sweetness because you're missing certain ingredients. So much on these things, we don't realize the things that we do in our everyday life, the things that we do in our actions, it's having a big effect on our prayers. We're like, what is missing? Where are these missing ingredients? Where did they go? Why can't I find the pleasure in my prayer? Why can't I benefit from my prayer?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. We have Brother Muhammad from Nigeria on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Go ahead, Brother Muhammad, please.
Yes, my question is, what is the ruling on prayer in a place where the azan is not made?
Okay.
Only the iqamah. Jazakallah khair.
Wa jazakum. Thank you so much. Muhammad from Nigeria. Barakallah fiqh. Sister Latifa from Nigeria also, she called before Abu Abdul Karim. She said that there is an organization which deals with riba, it lends money with an interest, and her husband is planning on running for a president of this organization or entering into the elections. Is it permissible? Of course not. Definitely not. Being a part of any illegitimate work makes you liable. وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. Unless if you think that you can stop this and you're only entering into this system in order to correct its mischief, that's a different issue. But you assume that you're just one person and you won't be able to have a say in it, then it's not permissible for you to be a part of it. And asking us to make dua for her, may Allah bless you and your family and guide you and us to what is best. Abu Abdul Karim from the KSA. The period of shortening the prayer, if you travel the travel distance and you stay for more than 4 days, and you're planning on staying for more than 4 days according to the vast majority of the jurists, then you should pray regular. And also pray the nawafil along with that. He also mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ stayed in Mecca for 19 days, which is absolutely true, shortening the prayer. That was during the conquest of Mecca. Because the same scholar said, if you have not made up your mind as how many days you are staying, such as in the case of the conquest of Mecca, the Battle of Tabuk, 20 days on the battlefield, 15 days going and 15 days coming back. If you have not made up your mind and you are undecided, you say, I may leave tomorrow, I may leave day after tomorrow, and you keep postponing, then it doesn't matter, even if you stay for a whole year like that, such as if you're going for treatment or for a business to finish, and you did not intend already to reside in. And here I'm presenting the opinion of the vast majority. Of course, there are other opinions which says only 3 days, and other opinions which says as long as you are a musafir, it doesn't matter, you shorten your prayer. But this is the more right view according to the incident of Hajjatul Wada', when the Prophet ﷺ arrived to Mecca. Then he moved to Mina and he prayed Qasr and so on. Barakallah fiqh. Brother Iqbal from Sweden, he prays 2 rak'ahs so that it will benefit him after death, and prays another 2 rak'ahs to for his parents, to give them a good life and a long life and so on. Akhi, my dear brothers, and nawafil, there are some general nawafil and there are some specific prescribed nawafil. The prescribed nawafil are some which are relating to the fard, that you pray before or after the 5 obligatory prayers. In the hadith, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whoever observes 12 rak'ahs on daily basis and on regular basis, Allah will build a house for him in paradise. I believe that fulfills the purpose. You're praying 2 rak'ahs so that you can be saved after you die and so on. Here, the specific prescribed nawafil before and after the fard would do it and even serve the purpose and even more. Allah will build a house for you in paradise. There is mutlaqun nawafil or general nawafil where you can pray at night as much as you want, or between Fajr and until before noon, or between Maghrib and Isha. You can pray nawafil as much as you want. But there is no specific 2 rak'ahs with the intention of prolonging your parents' life or anything like that. As a matter of fact, the matter of even making dua to prolong somebody's life was objected to by the Prophet ﷺ. Why? When Habiba, may Allah be pleased with her and her father, Habiba, the Prophet's wife, the mother of the believers, and also she is the daughter of Abu Sufyan and the sister of Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, may Allah be pleased with all of them. So, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, once further, she was making dua that Allah may give her father and Muawiyah and the Prophet a long life, so that she would not be grieved with the death of any of them during her life. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said you should make a better dua. Why? Because whatever Allah has preordained already is going to pass. If it has been preordained that the child will die before the father or the mother, it is going to happen. That is something decided and preordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rather ask Allah to give you barakah in the umr, in the lifespan, give you barakah which is much bigger. There are some people who live for long life and their life is miserable. Their life is worthless. They spend most of their life sitting before the screen watching movies, songs, and series, filth. The life is worth nothing. So whether they're alive or dead, their life equals nothing. And there are some serious people who benefited from every moment of their lives. Even if they are asleep, they benefit out of their sleep. Even when they're eating, exercising, going to the gym, they are people with high zeal. They know exactly the purpose of life. So it doesn't matter how many years they live and how long is their lives. Look at Al-Imam al-Nawawi. He didn't even live for 50 years. Approximately 4 or 5 years. Subhanallah, when you read in his biography, when you read in his history, you say, Subhanallah, this guy is like was authoring a book on every single day. Where did he get the time, the power, the memory and intellect? It is a barakah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Fatima from Nigeria, Assalamu alaikum. Sister Fatima. طيب. Try again, please, Sister Fatima. Sister Asia from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sister Asia?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, I and my family visit Masjid Nabawi this weekend. We pray for all Huda Aug and Muslim Ummah in crisis.
May Allah accept your dua.
Ameen, Jazakallah khair. I have 2 questions.
Nah.
While getting back from Medina to Jeddah, my family requested for Maghrib and Isha on the way. But due to some reason, I could not. Someone informed her that since I reached home, my eyes not better. Question number 2. If someone has booked the journey and before leaving home, can he pray Qasr at home and leave the journey? Jazakallah khair.
وجزاكم. Thank you so much. Barakallahu feek. Okay. Sister Fatima is back again on the line from Nigeria.
Hello?
Salamu alaikum. Naam. Sister Fatima, go on.
Salamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, please, I want to seek your advice. You see, all these things are happening in the Muslim nation, in Burma, in Syria, in Egypt, in Nigeria. Please, I want to really understand. Is it that we should just sit down and be praying and then they should be killing Muslims all over the world? Or we should come together and do something? Or should we just sit down and keep saying, okay, let's keep praying? Or should we get up and do something? Because it's just too painful, you know? You see them everywhere. See Egypt, see Syria, see every day Syrian people, they keep dying. But the only thing we keep doing is let's just sit down and pray. If it was maybe some believers that is happening to, I know by now they must have done something. But we Muslims, we keep saying, okay, let's just keep praying, let's just keep praying. Is this how we continue praying and waiting for America to help us fight people in Syria or something? They are the ones that will tell you to do this, to do this, to do that, and they will be the ones to fight you. I don't understand, Sheikh. Is it that we should keep praying or we should get up and do something on our own? Because I'm really very bitter. I'm very, very bitter. Especially what just happened in Egypt. Egypt is a Muslim country. See what just happened. If it can happen in Egypt, then it can happen anywhere in the world. That's how they'll keep keeping us. We say, okay, let's just keep praying. Let's just keep praying. Sheikh, please, I would really like you to really discuss this thing because a lot of Muslims are bitter. We don't know what to do. If we call and say, just keep praying, is that how we continue? Or will God come down from heaven to fight the battle for us?
Okay, thank you, Sister Fatima from Nigeria. Barakallahu fiki. Sister Fatima from the USA. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Fatima.
Wa alaikum assalam. Sheikh, how are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Barakallahu fiki.
Sheikh, I have one question. Hello?
Yeah, I hear you, Sister Fatima.
Okay. Sheikh, I mentioned about the period, having fasting in period. I heard a few days before in Ramadan sittings that the Sheikh was saying that the period is the flow of blood. But this does not happen with me. I regularly get periods only for the 7 days. If I count myself, that they are 6 to 7 days. But on the second day, talking to flow blood most often.
Sister Fatima, unfortunately, I cannot hear you. I cannot get your question. Your voice is breaking down. Please try calling from a better line. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Sister Maryam from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Maryam.
Alaikum salam, Sheikh.
Go ahead, Sister
Sheikh,
Maryam.
can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, Sheikh, I have 2 questions.
Now.
One, I want to know if it's okay for one to read this kind of English law and practice with it as a Muslim, because I understand we have the Sharia law and the English law. Is it okay for one to read the English law and practice it as a Muslim, most especially for a woman?
Okay.
Secondly, I want to really know about this. I have this auntie that is very, very mischievous. She's arrogant. She's always, whenever you have anything to do with her, she's always twisting everything, always, lying and everything. She's always wanting to fight with everybody. When you have and give her any trust to hold, she's always like, using distrust and later go and tell other people that you don't even want to hear about what you told her. I want to really know this kind of people that are in your relation. What can you do? Should I avoid them, or what? I want you to advise me on what to do. Or should I avoid them totally and not even talk to them again, or I should keep on, I don't know what to do. I hope you understand me, Sheikh.
I do. Thank you, Sister Mariam from Nigeria. Sister Layla from the KSA about the Aqiqah and its tradition. It is an emphatic sunnah. In the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, every newborn is mortgaged to his Aqiqah. It should be offered on the 7th, if not the 14th, if not the 21st, if not whenever it is possible, along with shaving the head of the baby and giving a charity equivalent to the weight of the hair of pure silver in a charity, and giving him or her a name. What if the person cannot afford the Aqiqah? Then that is robbed until and whenever the person is capable, even way later or even years later. So when you say, can I skip it? Remember, mortgage to his Aqiqah, his safety, his soundness, the child, whether it's he or she, his good future is linked to offering the Aqiqah. It is a mean of giving thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for receiving a newborn, whether it's a boy or a girl, and also to assist the poor by giving them food in this happy occasion. Similarly, the person who asked earlier about what do you say, that was Ammar. What do you say when you move into a new house? Like whenever you enter your regular house on every single time. Bismillah walajna wa bismillah kharajna wa ala Allah rabbina tawakkalna. You say the dua. And as far as reciting Surah Al-Baqarah, it should be recited on regular basis at least once every 3 days, because it keeps the shaitan off as long as you recite it for 3 days. You recite it once, the shaitan will be warded off from the house for 3 days and 3 nights, and so on. There is something called wakira, which is to throw a party or to feed the poor for having been blessed with a new house or a new flat, and so on. Muhammad from Nigeria praying in a place where there was no adhan. If the adhan is being called in the city or heard by some people, it is more than enough. And what you should do is call the iqamah and pray, whether in jama'ah or singular if no one is to pray with you. Al-adhan lughatan al-i'lam. Al-adhan is prescribed as a mean of declaring that the time of the prayer has approached already. Sister Asia first, making up the missed prayer, which was supposed to be prayed qasr when you're a musafir, and delaying it until you reach to your residency. Like those who travel from Jeddah to Mecca, they're eligible to shorten the prayer. Okay, cool. So some prayed Maghrib and Isha together, and they shortened the Isha in Mecca and they took off. Now when they went to Jeddah or home, some people did not get to do so. So would they get to pray Isha 2 rak'ahs or 4 when they reach home? When you reach home, you pray always regular. Keep this in mind. It is permissible to combine the prayer sometimes when you're resident for a reason or another. It's a concession, due to rain, due to sickness, due to fear, but it is not permissible to shorten the prayer when you're resident. We ran out of time. As far as Sister Fatima from Nigeria also, who said the situation of the Ummah and so on, I'm going to share with you the secret behind what is going on and the role of those who are actually playing a very active role in demolishing, disturbing, and tearing apart this ummah and making sure that this ummah would never rise up. But it would definitely rise up, insha'Allah Azza Jal. Maybe, insha'Allah, next time I begin by quoting some of the articles from the Washington Post and so on, in order to know exactly what is going on. We were discussing the ayat of Surah Al-Qasas to tell us the whole story from beginning to end, but we didn't have a chance even to tackle a single ayah this episode. MashaAllah, we have many callers, so we'll see you inshallah on Tuesday. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance